All right, 6:30, call this meeting to order, start with the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. And I'll turn things over to Acting Superintendent Goldsteiner for the celebration of excellence tonight.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for coming. I'm going to start with the CABE Student Leadership Awards Program. One male and one female student from each school in a CABE member district are eligible to receive the CABE Student Leadership Award. These students exhibit leadership skills based on the criteria below: willingness to take on challenges, capability to make difficult decisions, concern for others, ability to work with others, willingness to commit to a project, diplomacy, ability to understand issues clearly, and ability to honor a commitment. So our first award goes to Carissa Cran. Is she here? Do you want to just stand up? Thanks. Aside from consistently working hard and applying herself academically, Carissa can always be counted on to work well with her peers. Carissa's leadership transcends the classroom walls. During her years at BCS, she has been a member of the BCS tennis team. Moreover, her PE teacher recognized her good sportsmanship, even earning her the award in 6th grade. In her spare time, Carissa has volunteered her time and culinary skills cooking food for the homeless through her church. Moreover, in her travels to Cambodia, her family helps out those impacted. Oh, I'm not going to be able to say that right. Can you say it for me? Yes, thank you. By handling out prepared food. Carissa is very deserving of this award, and her teachers are very proud of her. Carissa, there will be an award for you, but they just have not come in yet. So as soon as the certificate comes in, we'll get it to you. All right, thank you. All right, the next recipient is Ethan DeRogers. Similarly, Ethan displays strong leadership skills inside and outside of the classroom. In addition to applying himself academically, Ethan is a gifted musician and is part of the jazz band. Moreover, he is also a talented runner who is able to earn the Most Improved Runner Award by shaving off almost a minute and a half from his running score. That's impressive. Equally as impressive, as a hardworking member of the BCS robotics team, his and the rest of the team's efforts earned them a spot at the World Championship in Texas next month. Clearly, when Ethan sets his mind to something, he follows his commitments and is able to achieve remarkable feats. We cannot wait to see what the future holds for such a talented young man. Congratulations. And we'll get your certificate to you as well. Okay, the next one goes to Bolton High School, Ainsley Haran. Ainsley is an intelligent, highly motivated, and altruistic student with unlimited potential. She excels academically and has made significant contributions to Bolton High School and the surrounding community. Ainsley finds success in all that she does, not just because of her intellect, but for her tireless work ethic, meticulous organization, and her endless pursuit of knowledge. Her teachers report that Ainsley sees every lesson, every discussion, and every assignment as an opportunity to learn and grow. Ainsley prioritizes her time in service to her school and the surrounding community. She serves as a secretary of the National Honor Society, is an active member on student council, coaches, and is a percussionist. Ainsley competes on the swim team and shares her talent by teaching swimming lessons to children at the YMCA. These qualities and more make Ainsley a very deserving recipient of this award. Ainsley is planning on majoring in biochemistry and is deciding on which school to attend in the fall. Congratulations, Ainsley. Oh, she's in Florida. Okay, did not know that. Our next recipient is also in Florida. I did know that. That is Bolton High School senior Andrew Goodness. Andrew excels academically and has enveloped himself in every aspect of Bolton High School. He is one of those special individuals who has and will continue to make significant contributions in his future field of study, workplace, and surrounding community. Andrew has worked tirelessly to balance a rigorous course load and is a reliable and consistent participant in many clubs and activities. Not only has Andrew served as a student representative for the Board of Ed for the past 2 years, he is also a member of the BHS baseball and track teams, serves as the vice president of student council, president of the National Honor Society, drama club member, and musician. He has attained high levels of success across all disciplines and is in the process, has become a future on the honor roll at BHS. Andrew's strong leadership qualities are evident in all that he does. His teachers report that no matter what the obstacle, Andrew finds a way to overcome them. Andrew is deciding on which post-secondary school to attend and plans on studying sports communications. Congratulations, Andrew. I hope you guys. All right, our next awards are the CAPS Awards. And this is the Connecticut Association of Public School Superintendents Award, is presented annually to students from the graduating Bolton Center School and Bolton High School classes. The award is presented to those students who show a strong commitment to academics and a strong commitment to their school community. So the first award goes to BCS Award, Cora Murray. Cora Murray, of course, here she can have it stand up. Cora Murray was selected by the 8th grade team as one of the CAPS recipients this year. Cora is an academically high-achieving student, consistently making high honors throughout her time in middle school. In addition to being dedicated to her academics, she participates in a variety of clubs and activities at BCS, including art club, robotics, student council, book club, cross country, and more. You are busy. The past 3 years, she was also selected to participate in the Eastern Regional Middle School Festival. With Student Council this year, she has helped to organize a food drive, fundraisers, and school dances. Outside of school, she has also volunteered to help teach dance to younger students. Overall, Cora is an excellent representation of BCS by being involved in her school community and a leader to her peers. Congratulations, Cora. We are looking forward to all your future success. We do have your certificates will come in. The CAPS Awards are in. All right, the next award is for Madeline Raitt. Is Madeline here? Yeah. Madeline Raitt has made a positive impact on our school community and beyond. The Bolton Center school community has benefited from her consistent involvement in the student council, helping out with spirit weeks, middle school dances, and food drives. They're also very busy. The town of Bolton has benefited from her active involvement in Girl Scouts, participating in food drives and trail cleanup efforts. She has maintained a strong academic record through her time, receiving honors through middle school, the band award, as well as the ELA award. We are so proud of Madeline and congratulate her on this honor. The first high school award goes to Michaela Maynard. Michaela is a model student at Bolton High School, demonstrating respect. Is Michaela here, or is she in Florida too?
I don't know if she was, I don't think she was, I'm not sure.
Okay. So I'll start. She's a model student at Bolton High School, demonstrating respect, responsibility, and bringing an overall positive energy to all that she encounters. Michaela is an actively engaged member in all classes, ranging from AP Literature to AP United States Government. She has distinguished herself as an exceptional student who doesn't shy away from a rigorous course load. While she thrives academically, Michaela has also consistently participated in several extracurricular activities in and outside of school. To name a few, she's an active student council member, editing chief of the BHS literary magazine, yearbook editor, NHS member, volleyball coach, and percussionist. Through these activities, Michaela is able to give back to her community while also fulfilling her own interests. For example, Michaela has written and illustrated, a child's book that she is pursuing getting published. Michaela's strong work ethic and character makes her a deserving recipient of this award. She's in the process of selecting which post-secondary institution to attend in the fall and plans to pursue a double major in creative writing and marketing. Congratulations, Michaela. The next award goes to Jake Young. It is with great pride to recognize Jake Young for this award. Jake's strong work ethic and determination are qualities that do not go unnoticed in Bolton High School community. Jake's teachers report year after year that he is a dedicated and compassionate student who is willing to step outside of his comfort zone and take academic risks. He sees every day as an opportunity to do his best and prepare for his future. On top of Jake's academic obligations, he also commits his time to BHS's basketball and baseball teams, a part-time job, and gives back to the community as a coach and mentor to aspiring young athletes. They're very busy as well. It is this type of self-discipline and dedication to others that propels him in and outside of the classroom. Jake is planning on studying political science and playing college basketball at William Penn University in the fall. Congratulations, Jake. That's it.
That's all the awards, right?
Yes.
That we have for this evening, so if everyone wants to join us for the regular part of our meeting, you're welcome to stay. If you would like to leave, now is a great time.
Congratulations, everybody. Thank you. Nice job. Very. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Comments from the audience. Is there anyone remaining who would like to make a comment? I don't think we have any additions to the agenda, correct?
Correct.
All right, on to routine business items and the approval of minutes. We have a motion, please, to approve the minutes of the March 13th, 2025 Board of Education business meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Rhea,
Second.
does anyone have any questions, comments, or edits on these minutes? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Anyone opposed? Abstaining? All right, Board of Ed committee reports and finance. We have a lot.
So we met yesterday for our finance committee meeting, Rhea, myself, Beth and Saul. And so from a budget standpoint, we're 63% expended. That's just assuming full expenditures at this point. No reason to change any of those projections at this point. Overall, we're projecting a balance of the budget of $435,000. So if you can actually go to the third page of this long schedule, wanted to talk about some of the transfers that are being requested and what, think about what we want to do in terms of, the give back for the next year. So you'll see there's 435,000. There are transfers, 2 large transfers that will require approval over on the bottom left of the chart. We'll go through those in a second. Those total $120,000. That leaves a remaining projected balance after that transfer request of $314,000. And then we are thinking about a commitment towards the next year's budget of $150,000. There is a projected transfer to cover food service fund deficit of $80,000, which we talked earlier in this year that we were expecting that will probably be in a deficit just because of increased, food costs and labor costs as well. And so that would leave our revised projected balance, for the remainder of this year to give us any cushion of $84,755. So figure we'll start with a transfer request first, and Beth, feel free to correct me where I go astray here. So the first one is to request a transfer of $33,745 from salaries and benefits to operation equipment, and that's to finish the VCS shades replacement. So the blinds of VCS are from the 1990s. Many of them are broken and do not work I've also heard that there's some glare issues as well for the rooms that have not had the blinds replaced. And back in 2021, they were deemed by the CAPA committee not to qualify as part of the CAPA budget. So in 2022, we moved forward and replaced a portion of the blinds at BCS with the operating funds. So at this point, some of the blinds have been replaced, leaving, some, the rest of the building, needing to be replaced. So at this point, the request is to look to complete this project. The amount would be, again, $33,745. And I, have heard that it is a pretty competitive rate because of the time at which they'd be able to do it. So anything else to add there, Beth?
No, I think you've covered all of that, Ashley.
Okay.
I think better.
All right, so I guess I'd entertain a motion to approve that transfer request.
So moved.
Second. Does anybody have any questions or comments about the blinds at PCS?
The only comment, that I'd say here is it's not just, to get the blinds, the optically, I think it actually needs to be repaired. So that's the only discussion that we had during finance
So
committee.
we have a haves and have-nots situation in the school where we
That's
have
right.
some people with newer blinds and other people who have issues.
But it's not just a cosmetic.
That's the word I was looking for, yes.
Actually, I did get that information from John.
Okay,
So we had some discussion at finance committee about the remaining blinds and why they were being replaced. And John B said that about a third of them are mechanically not working. A third are missing pieces, slats and pieces, cords and things. And the remaining third are probably cosmetic, but since we're doing all the rest and they've been around since the 90s, it seemed to be a good idea to put those in that part of the project.
and do you know how much it cost last time?
Yes, we have that. I think it was 20.
I'm just curious how it compares to the 33,000.
I know I have that in here somewhere. Give me just a second. I think it was $22,000.
Okay. And that was half or a third?
That was
Somewhere in the middle.
somewhere, the cost of the line was only $2,000.
I did speak with John Buttermovich a week or two ago. And we did touch on this and he said that John Boyle's their slow time of year, so it's a good deal. And that they're on the state bid, so that's why we're doing the bid waiver request.
I think it's also they're giving us an off-season rate because it's not high season for the blinds.
Yes,
To your point.
yep, and that's who we used the last time
Yeah.
also.
They're not blinds like this, they're like mini blinds.
They're not,
They're closer to like this, and the ones
Oh,
that
the
are
new
now are
ones.
like vertical, and any
Uh,
breathe, they make noise.
yeah, they flap around.
Tracking, yeah, okay.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments about blinds? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Hi,
Anyone opposed or abstaining? All right, we have blinds. Next is computers.
the second is to request a transfer of 86,500 from salaries and benefits to instructional technology. And that is to purchase 84 devices and 20 monitors. So what's happening here is these devices are up, they're on a 7-year replacement cycle and they're up to be replaced in FY 2027. However, as of October, this coming October 2025, these devices currently running Windows 10 will no longer receive the critical security updates for which, we really need. And this was, highlighted by Novus, I believe. And so what that entails is 25 devices at BCS. That includes 3 teacher desktops, 10 mini PCs and monitors for the STEM classroom, and 12 Chrome boxes for the library kiosks and student workstations. And then at BHS, that's 59 devices plus 20 monitors, 29 teacher desktops, 21 computer lab desktops, and 20 monitors, as well as a handful of other individual computers as well. So given that, we'll have that exposure in October of 2025 and they're on the 7-year replacement cycle anyways. So really the intention is to bring this in and do this a little earlier, with the excess funds here. So that is really the purpose of that transfer.
So we have a motion to transfer a $6,500 from salaries and benefits to technology equipment.
So moved.
A second.
Does anyone have any questions or comments about the computer replacement? I was wondering what happens if we don't? Like, if we were to not make this change. And like, do the computers, I mean, free of my technology ignorance also, like. Windows run these computers and so they would not be able to be run, or certain programs would not be able to be run.
They'll turn on,
They'll turn on, but you wouldn't be able to use them.
things like that. But they won't be able to push out the security updates that we need, that we've been working really hard for, to make sure that our network stays secure. So the updates, the patches, everything that Microsoft puts out, they will not be able to be updated after this change. And then some of the software that we use may not be applicable on it. For example, 20 of them are for that library lab where we do AP computer science. That's also where the monitors are going, because for some reason that room has slightly older monitors. So they need the correct connections. Yeah, that's,
So the monitors that we're using now will be recycled in-house.
we have a recycling, I think we use Upcycle. They take our old devices and they also take anything with a hard drive and give us a certificate of destruction. So it doesn't just go into the ether. We know what happens to it in the present.
Other piece to that, Andrew, is also it will impact our cyber.
Ah,
Our cyber
Cyber insurance.
oh,
Yes,
okay.
because it's cyber risk.
Do all VHS students get laptops or?
They have Chromebooks.
They
Oh,
have
they have
Chromebooks.
Chromebooks, okay.
Yeah, in fact, what we did, some of the Chrome boxes, it's like a Chromebook on steroids. So for things like these desktop stations in the library where they're looking up the card catalog and just searching some basic things, we're replacing those with the Chrome boxes. But the library media specialist here, there are a couple of devices that we use for running the Cricut for the makerspace and things like that. So we do need a PC there. This PC is one of the ones that is going to be replaced. So we were very careful. They were able to deploy software, so we were able to see the warranty of every device, what device was going to be out. So we made some very careful decisions to say, well, this doesn't have to be replaced with a full PC. This can be replaced with a different device. The STEM lab, for example, at PCS, when we talked to Dory Moore, she said one of the things she needs is space. So this setup is much too big for her. So we found a smaller form factor mini PC that's just as powerful, that has a monitor, so that the kids can still work without all of this in the way. So that was slightly less expensive. So it just kind of worked out in our favor. So, and then we're lucky that all the monitors on all the teacher desktops are in good shape, and now we've got their connections. And we're very careful about where we made our replacements.
With the computers that we have now, you don't just put Windows 11 on those ones, or you could, but it wouldn't be worth the time and
It won't be
money
able- Yeah,
because we need new ones anyway.
yeah, that was fun. Microsoft announced that in early 2023. And we were like, oh, great. And then Novus was able to deploy some software, so we knew the exact age of every device. So we could get pretty granular and replace only what absolutely had to be replaced.
When did Windows 10 come out? What? Like 5, 8, 10 years?
Well, if you remember correctly, like you can't run a PC that's running Windows XP anymore, which is, I think, what time replaced,
Oh, okay.
right? So if that's not gonna run anything, it won't get any updates. You won't be able to run most software because the software starts to outstrip the operating system. And as Casal said, it leaves us vulnerable. It leaves our network vulnerable if we can't add those patches and security updates.
So these were bought about 5 years ago, and Windows 10 was original to them.
Yes, I think they're actually a little bit older. They were 6. We were hoping they were gonna be 7. That was the original.
Okay.
generally a desktop's life should be about 7 years. Because it's not like a laptop. If something happens to the keyboard, you replace the keyboard. It's easier to take it apart and do a repair. You don't have to replace the entire thing. So they're very easy to repair. They're easy to extend their longevity. It's just, this was a critical update that we weren't really planning on.
Does anyone else have any questions or
No,
comments?
I just say for the public, it's that this cost would be coming anyways, in another year, so it's not like it's a incremental cost, it's a shift in timing. And I think the timing just makes sense to do it.
So this will be in our budget discussions a year from now. Anyone else? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, abstaining? Now we have our regular, smaller March transfers.
Yeah. Know if everyone wants to go through these individually, but they are rather small.
Want me to read them all? Athletic banner upgrade for Class S champion, reclass, $340. Transfer some systems to instructional technology to cover shortfall for failed BCS interactive board, $897.53. A reclass to cover tech ed drones purchase for $800. A reclass transfer instructional supply from DHS to BCS for $499.70. A reclass to cover art supplies for $30.81. The transfer for the public address spell system upgrade at BCS that we approved last month. The reclass to cover world language purchase of additional Spanish 1 textbooks for $1,480. A reclass to cover the cost of potatoes for the staff appreciation potato bar on 3/25/25 for $49.41. A reclass to cover world language shortfall for teachers discovery supplies of 97 cents. And a reclass transfer from BHS to BCS to cover the balance for CMEAPD for a teacher of $185.01. So we have a motion to approve those March transfers.
So,
Well, second, we gotta get a second there.
Your pick.
Or only three firsts. Anyone have any questions about any of these?
so it's very precise with their 97 cents.
Love it.
Every penny accounted for.
All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstaining? Are we all set with finance?
Well, later on in the agenda, we have some bid waivers.
We have to
for-
do bid waivers for things that we just transferred.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll do it then.
Did we say special ed is never changing the landscape?
I didn't, I
Paul?
think it was assumed.
Okay, well, let's wanna make sure we are covered everything. All right,
But there is, so that leaves us after these approved transfers, that leaves us with a balance after the transfer request of the 314,000.
Yeah.
So later on in the agenda,
Oh,
we'll
yeah,
talk
we
about
got
the
it.
approval of committing 150,000 to FY 26 budget. You wanna do that now?
we can just do everything in order.
Okay.
All right,
Nothing else.
that is all for finance. Do we have any community meeting reports? I see our PTA representative's not here. Do you have anything you'd like to?
I will not do as good of a job as Lindsay. They just did their Krispy Kreme fundraiser. They raised over 1,300. They have their spring gala, April 26th at Illicit. May 13th is the art show and ice cream social. The art teacher is working very hard. It's a pop art theme this year. She's got scavenger hunts. Seems like lots of fun things. They're also doing a BOGO book fair for Scholastic the same day as the ice cream social. And then Teacher Appreciation Week is the week of May 5th. So they are collecting donations. There's going to be a coffee truck one day. I think one of the days is maybe Cinco de Mayo theme. Yeah, they're busy. I don't know if I'm missing anything. All right, that's all.
We have,
I attended the March Bolton Scholarship Fund meeting. I can report that in March, we had 25 Bolton High School National Honor Society students participate in our phone-a-thon. Their assistance is greatly appreciated. They managed to call every number on the list this year. And our scholarship application is now open through the BSF website. Applications must be submitted by 11:59 p.m. on May 4th. I also wanted to note that this year, because of the potential conflict of interest, my son is graduating and will likely apply for a scholarship. I've stepped down from the Scholarship Fund's Scholarship Selection Subcommittee and will not participate in any way in the deliberations or votes for this year's scholarships. I just wanted to make the public aware of that. That's it.
Are there any other committee meetings to report on? Like our usuals. I'll now turn things over to Director Goldsnyder for tonight's Superintendent of Schools report.
So Jared, you wanna go first?
Good evening. So March was a very busy month and a successful month, particularly for Read Across America. Our staff did an outstanding job with having guest readers in the building for a couple of weeks. The enthusiasm and participation for both the staff and students was tremendous. It really was. We had book bingo, we had teachers reading to students, like every day there was something, and Mrs. Kelleher did a phenomenal job of guiding that work with the morning announcements and getting the kids excited. On March 20th and 21st, we hosted a successful round of parent, teacher, and student-led conferences. Attendance was very strong. I had a group of students for student-led conferences myself, and just the energy and the reflection that the students have from that experience, I don't think they realize it until they're done, and they're like, wow, that feels really good. So the parents are very proud of their children, and the leaders of the groups are very proud because they put a lot of work over a series of months into that. Attendance was strong, as I mentioned, and the energy throughout the building was very positive. The conferences provide a valuable opportunity for parents, students, and teachers to connect and to discuss their progress. Following the conferences, Director Goldsnyder, 10 other staff members, and myself led 86 7th and 8th graders to Washington, D.C. The trip was filled with enriching experiences, including tours, museum visits, and a lot of memorable learning opportunities. These types of trips truly are lasting memories and have a lasting impact on students, creating memories that they'll cherish forever. There's many memorable moments that the staff and Director Goldsnyder and myself can recall from the bus ride of 8 hours down and 8 hours back, and the very long days. A special acknowledgement to Mrs. Peltier for stepping up to lead the organization of the trip. As you can recall, Mr. Lambert, who retired, would come to the meetings and present about the upcoming trips, and she stepped up and took over organizing it, which is a heavy lift. Her efforts ensured a smooth and successful experience for all. Spring sports are now in full swing with baseball and softball teams, and it's been cold, beginning their practices and games. The energy and enthusiasm among the student athletes is evident, and they look forward to a great season. Our PBIS and School Leadership Committee continue to plan and implement fun and engaging student events. Some recent events, and you heard one earlier with the potato bar, and some others are staff breakfasts, underground spirit days, and book clubs, all of which contribute to a positive and connected school culture. Looking ahead on the school calendar, we have spring recess coming up next week, and then soon after that, April 29th, we'll begin our state testing, which will span the entire month of May. We anticipate many other exciting end-of-year events, promotion, class night, and many others. And we love to celebrate our students' hard work and achievements. Any questions? I think I'm still recovering from DC. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll read Mr. Maselli's report for tonight. He is in his hometown being given an award, a public safety award for his service on the police commission, I believe it is. So he's not here tonight. So the Bolton High School concert band and concert choir students departed for Orlando, Florida to participate in the Disney soundtrack session workshops. Students will work with Disney clinicians to choose and rehearse excerpts of Disney movie soundtracks and create professional quality recordings to mash up with movie clips. They're going to be busy as well. Students will enjoy experiences in the Disney parks and will return to Bolton on Sunday, April 11th. As you can notice, our two Board of Ed student reps are not here. Grace and Andrew are part of this trip, so that's why their absence is noticed. But they did leave a report for us. Our seniors are breathing a big sigh of relief as the big capstone night was last week. For anybody who attended, capstone was phenomenal. The projects and were so good. We have a table back there of just a sampling of a few capstone projects that students wanted to display. So please be sure to take a look. The lovely pen I was using earlier is made by a student for part of his capstone project. So take a look. They're really great. We hope you got a chance to view a few samples of the work on the table. If not, stayed on the way out. This year's plan included an opportunity for all BHS student and faculty to preview senior projects during the school day, with the hopes this helps underclassmen start to generate ideas and get ready for their big day. Our jazz, percussion, and concert bands performed a few weeks ago, and our chorus performers have their next show on May 30th. We've been able to record and post all these performances on our YouTube channel, so if you have missed them, you can view the concerts there. We're also happy to announce we have kicked off our spring season for athletics with softball, baseball, track, golf, and women's tennis.
We will move on to unfinished business, and we have a bunch of second read policies to approve tonight. So could we have a motion to approve the following policies? 4118, non-discrimination, 4120.4, sections 504 and ADA, 5131, student discipline, 5145, section 504 ADA for students, 5145.4, non-discrimination students, 5145.5, prohibition of sex discrimination, including sex-based harassment, 6171.3, the equitable identification of gifted and talented students, and 6205, promotion and retention.
The motion to approve those policies.
Yes. Second. Does anyone have any questions or comments further about these policies? We've had a month more than to review them.
How frequently are they updated or changed on
It really
is
depends.
common or, okay.
It is very common throughout the year to have a suite of policies.
Right.
It's more typical in the fall because laws tend to get passed and go into effect late summer or early fall. But this is not atypical.
Okay.
Chris? Any other questions? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstaining? All right, on to new business, the Bolton Center School blinds bid waiver. Could we have a motion to approve the bid waiver to award John Boyle Decorating a bid for the BTS blinds that we discussed earlier?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Rhea.
Second.
Anyone have any questions or comments about this?
We need to state the amount of the bid. Or does that, I can't remember if we normally do that, but.
Don't know, can't hurt.
Okay. Rhea, would you like to amend your motion to include the lines figure of $33,745? Was that, you okay with that?
Yes, 33,700.
Same motion, but with the figure we discussed earlier? Okay.
Having figure.
Anyone else have questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye. Anyone opposed or abstaining? All right, on to the computers. Could we have a motion, please, to approve the bid waiver to award CDW the bid for the 84 computers and 20 monitors for the amount of $86,500.
I think that changed, but it's $94,350. Sorry. That was,
Oh.
I think, Monica got a
We only
late
approved
afternoon.
Transferring.
No, we're okay with the transfer. There's money for the transfer. Chris also, we didn't need to make any more transfer. We just need to
Okay,
do this for the bid.
okay, so we don't need to transfer more money, but,
Correct. But the
I'll
bid
just
waiver.
restate that. We have a motion to approve the bid waiver to award CDW the bid for the 84 computers and 20 monitors in the amount of $94,350.
Make a motion.
Urea.
Second.
Does anyone have any questions about this?
Why did the bid go up?
Monica, I think you better. What's that?
It's a price increase and we're making the purchase as immediately as we can to avoid any further price increases.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's been
Yeah.
all over the place, even today.
And the other two, vendors, and I think part of it, it's partially what companies are doing. The other two vendors haven't even been able to commit to a price for us. We've been asking since late February.
Could we go back even after today to see if their price will change, just because?
I'd be very nervous that it's going to go up. The original expectation is we were told to expect a possible increase of up to 30%. And this is not anywhere near that yet.
Yes, it's interesting. It's a large item for us. Very uncertain times, but at the same time, I'd like to give it some time to shake out.
I mean, that's a very fluctuating situation.
Correct.
I mean, most of the tariffs were put on pause, so
Yeah. the
unless they
extra
come from
increase, the
China,
increase
then
fees are, yeah. Wish I could control that. It's a $7,800 difference.
Yeah.
Currently.
And we have to commit to the full amount right now.
If we could break it up, but I don't think it's gonna result in much greater change. I don't see anyone cutting their pricing.
Right now,
Right.
correct, right now.
so we're gonna be looking to move
If we,
immediately, and if prices do go down, then too bad for us. Cause they go up, I mean, like, I'm having my roof done, for instance, and like, we got fear monitored, and now we just like have all these shingles sitting in our driveway, but they're gonna be there for a month because we have to have our chimney worked on. And they're like, oh, but now it wasn't a thing, but they went up anyway, and they're not gonna come down, I guess. I mean, that's what everything does.
that once a company makes the increase, I don't.
Yeah.
See them bringing
Yeah.
it down,
mean-
regardless of circumstances.
Like with shingles, I was in construction, and every time the price of oil would spike,
Yeah.
the price of shingles would go up, but then when oil went back down, the price of shingles didn't go down, but when they spiked again, they went up again.
I asked him this morning about, I said, is this stable? Like, is this a stable cost at this price? And they
Nobody
said,
knows.
yes, but they would probably order sooner rather than later. Other two vendors, again, have not committed to pricing, but I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've come down from, just thinking about like 5 years ago when a lot of things shot up for supply chain, they didn't really come back down.
Yeah.
My flooring went up, same as yours, and it still costs that much, if not more.
But this is a little unusual. This is just people speculating because of very, very uncertain times. Things will stable out if it goes that way, but,
I think my only concern is that it's going to go up.
It's a risk.
it is, yeah. Yep.
I mean, as I see it, we have two options. We could approve spending 86,000 and allow
Yeah.
them to get what they can get for that amount. Or we can approve the higher amount.
Just did iron. What do you think?
If you have the higher amount is some funding that we already have that we won't necessarily have to spend. So it's smaller amounts. It's money that we had put aside for repairs and repair equipment that we didn't need because of our accidental damage plan. So the devices that we had that happen to have issues happen to be covered by that plan, and they weren't older devices. So we saved some money. And some other, so that's why the amounts are different, of the transfer and the bid waiver. We also had money put aside for cases that, for the students, but our vendor for the Chromebooks, which where it was placed a while ago, so we're good there. They're coming pre-cased with a slim case on them, so now we don't have to spend that additional money on the cases for the students. So some of that in that gap is savings from those items. So we already have those sitting in our budget line for technology, hardware, and materials. So that accounts for the discrepancy in those amounts.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments about this bid waiver? All those in favor of the motion, say aye. Anyone opposed? Abstaining. All right, on to the fiscal year 25 Board of Ed budget commitment to the Finance Committee for towards the fiscal year 2026 budget. I believe we mentioned earlier that we are suggesting 150, so I guess could we have a motion to commit $150,000 to the Finance Committee from the fiscal year 25 budget savings toward the fiscal year 26 budget, please?
So moved.
Second.
Does anyone have any questions or comments about this figure?
Appropriate at this time.
That's a good starting point.
Yes, and I suspect we'll be happy to hear that tomorrow for discussion. We're comfortable with this number, I guess. Same question we ask every year this time.
It still leaves $85,000
still
in
have,
cushion
yeah.
right now, so I'm sure the number will go up.
And we're not gonna find that some computer program is gonna be irrelevant in a couple months, like a couple weeks from now, and the next month need like another $100,000. But then 200,000 because we have 150% tariff.
Yeah, what is the biggest remaining risk? Is it the school facility kind of maintenance type? Something from John type of risk, or?
I would say
Yeah.
probably, yes.
Okay.
Okay, anyone have any other questions or comments about this? All those in favor, please say aye. Anyone opposed or abstaining? All right, on to the substitute pay rate.
Can we talk a little bit?
Sure, yes.
So currently we have daily subs in both buildings. We don't do a sub service any longer. We have subs that are assigned to the buildings. And we're currently paying them $18.46 an hour. We're recommending that we increase that to $20 an hour, just to be a little bit more competitive with surrounding towns. So we have put that in the budget for that price, and we're asking for that to be approved.
So we have,
I'm sorry, make a motion.
yeah, we have a motion to increase the substitute pay rate to $20 per hour for the fiscal year 26 school year.
I'll second.
All right, questions or comments?
So my question is, how many, you're saying that we have a certain number of full-time subs,
Correct, daily subs at each
daily
building.
subs. Does that cover what our needs are?
For the most part, it does, yeah. We have, I think, we tried for 5 at the center school.
Yeah, 5.
And then we have either 2 or 3 depending, at the high school. There's,
And do you know what other towns are paying?
I think when we looked at this, they were right around 20. I think a couple were a little bit more than that, so we kind of went into like a middle of the road increase.
And for long-term subs, that's like if you had someone hired for a long-term position.
They get a portion of the bachelor's position. So we're able to cover now because we don't have to get a, long-term sub if you're here for, it used to be 40 days, but now it's 60 days. So we're a little bit lucky in that respect. We're able to cover a lot of our sub postings and positions with our daily subs. And some of our daily subs do have, bachelor's degrees at least. So we do put those people into the classrooms to cover the longer sub positions.
And what is their, how many hours are they, teachers' hours?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what, 7 and
Seven,
And
they're,
that-
I think, are they break 7 hours? Yeah, they do a 7-hour day.
7-hour day?
Is the increased rate already accounted for in our proposed budget
Yeah.
for next year?
Yes.
When did we go to, we had a service before?
COVID was, well, we started right around the COVID time.
It's been a huge improvement.
Yeah, we couldn't,
Current
So we have a continuity of subs so that
Yeah.
people were familiar with the building and,
plan,
kids.
services, they never, fully staff, different people have never been before, so. When a sub we have now, our daily sub is not in a specific classroom, they have things where they'll go into the math classroom, or with a small group of students, so they're never just not working. So they're either in for a teacher who's out, or they have other tasks that they don't.
So are they treated as contract employees? Per diem? Like,
treated as temporary employees.
but if they're here, I mean, is the IRS okay with that? If
Well-
we're paying them to be here every day and requiring them to be
Well, we
here
have to
every day?
offer them now, we do have to offer them, the ability to buy into the insurance. So that's changed a little bit. So we are doing that. So that, I think that kind of softens it a little bit and makes it okay to do. Before there were no benefits associated with it, but now we are, we are obligated to offer them. They
What
can
is-
pay into the insurance.
What is the process to become a daily sub? Do they have to interview? Is it like a position that we interview?
Yes, it is. Yeah, we do a regular interview for it and we want to make sure it's a good match and, we certainly, we like when people have a bachelor's degree.
So if we're interviewing for these positions, they have regular hours and I mean, how are those not
We don't pay them
normal
through our payroll.
positions?
We don't pay them through our payroll.
They get paid through payroll.
Oh, okay.
Well, I
okay,
would
so
imagine
they're-
they get paid through payroll.
They do time cards.
They do time
Yeah.
cards and
It's not
time
like a
sheets.
1099 employee.
Oh, okay, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking it was. Thank you.
I'm not sure about their 1099.
No, they're not contractors. They're paid through payroll.
So and they're eligible for benefits and
Right, they can pay into the insurance, yes. And they have, now that we have CT paid sick leave, they're entitled to CT paid sick leave hours as well.
And they come in every day. They can't just say, no, I don't feel like coming in.
No, they're here for, yeah, and we have some who have just opted to do maybe 3 days a week. They can't commit to 5, so we try to balance that with somebody who maybe wants to do the other 2 days a week. But if we get somebody who's really good, we'll take them for the 3 days if they can commit to that. We made it work.
5
They're
people,
fully
like 8
utilized.
people.
Sometimes it is.
Fire now.
5 a day.
Five with,
Yeah.
with us for a bit, but sometimes we go through periods where we want to turn over, they're with us for 2 months,
Yeah.
so we're trying to get higher. Right now, we're
Have they ever transitioned into a full-time employee? And
We've offered a few people
Oh, yeah,
positions as
okay.
like as paras to see if they wanted to switch from a daily sub to a para because they've worked out really well and we thought it would be a good match and that they would be getting full benefits and some have opted to do that and others have said, no, I want to stay doing what I'm doing.
just
So,
wonder if it was a good feeder program.
yeah, it can be, yeah. Mhm.
Do other districts do something similar to
I'm pretty
this?
sure a lot of them do
more doing,
the way we're doing it. The services like Kelly services and things like that are really expensive to pay into and the turnover is just tremendous. You never, well,
Yeah.
not never, but rarely get the same person like 2 days in a row. If you have somebody else 4 or 5 days in a row, you might have 4 or 5 different people in there. At least now we have some
Yeah.
continuity.
I agree.
so would these employees have the ability to unionize?
It's a good question. I'm not sure. I can have a conversation with Fasal about that. We can see if that is. I mean, probably, I think. We probably could. I know.
Well, I mean,
There's
just
a
for
lot
all
more
that.
to this subject than I thought we all.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
um. Is there any more discussion? All right, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Anyone opposed or abstaining? Oh, well, I'm so happy with our $20, so I won't have to think about all that kind of nonsense. All right, resignations, we have any of those?
We have one resignation for the end of the school year from the high school math teacher, Irina Lavrock. And we also have a retirement, Donna Fisher, who is the BCS social studies teacher, will be retiring at the end of the school year. I would like to thank both of them for their service and we wish them well.
How many years has Donna been here?
I'm not even sure. I know she told me during Washington, but that was a blur, to be honest
For a
with
while.
you. Yeah. I think she's been here as long as,
What's more impressive is she's on kindergarten, fourth.
yeah, she's
grade,
been
middle
on
school.
several grade levels.
Very
Yes,
good for her.
yeah.
All right, and finally, for new business, we have two more policies that are first reads, but we are being asked to approve. Do you have some insight into these?
Sure do.
We did get an email about them.
All right, so we have policy. Oh, one sec, my notes are backwards. Okay, so we have policy 1250. I'm actually gonna do them the reverse order because that's the way my notes are and what might be sense. So I'm gonna do 1420 first, school security and safety. This policy needs to be updated to align with this year's Public Act 25-1, which the Connecticut legislature passed and Governor Lamont signed in early March. The law directs all school security and safety plans must now include clear protocols for responding to in-person visits from immigration authorities, federal immigration authorities such as ICE or Homeland Security. Each school under the law is directed to designate an administrator to handle these interactions following guidelines laid out by the Connecticut State Department of Education and any applicable law. Staff under the new policy are directed to request identification, review any warrants presented, and consult with legal counsel before responding. If outside personnel, immigration personnel approach other employees, other personnel must direct the immigration authorities to the designated administrator for any requests involving school access or information. We are updating both the policy and the accompanying administrative regulation to comply with the new law. Policy 1250, visitors in schools. Both policy and the accompanying administrative regulation are being updated for the same reason as policy 1420. The policy and regulation add a new paragraph with guidance for how to handle visits from federal immigration authorities and clarifies that school officials can direct visitors to refrain from engaging with students and or staff unless doing so is approved by the school and consistent with the purpose of the visit. Because the law that led to these revisions in the policy directs superintendents to designate the point person at each school no later than April 1st, 2025. That's why we need to try to get the policy and the administrative regulation in place as soon as possible so that we can comply with the law. Any questions?
Could we have a motion to approve policies 1250 and 1420?
So moved.
I'll second.
Does anyone have any other questions or comments regarding this? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Or abstaining? Oh, future business. Don't seem to have any. So. Then could we have a motion to go into executive session for a discussion concerning a temporary adjustment of job responsibilities and contract amendment for the Director of HR and Student Support Services? Second, anybody?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed or abstaining. All right, thank you for coming, everyone.